This video shows how you can use high-resolution Landsat satellite images to check on gaps in previously burnt fire breaks in Cape York Peninsula. So for example, on the screen here we can see a line of fire scars. Now let's suppose that we have a fire over here that's spreading to the west, and so we want to see if this line of breaks here is going to stop that fire and what we might need to do to strengthen it. So for example, you can see at the moment with these NAAFI fire scars there are a couple of big gaps. There's one gap here and there's one gap here, but the NAAFI fire scars are relatively coarse resolution. They don't really give you the detail you'll need to pick up on small gaps like this. So what we want to do is have a look at higher resolution Landsat images to have a look at these sort of gaps. Now you can download these images from NAAFI for anywhere in Cape York Peninsula covering different times of year, and one of the easiest ways of viewing these images is in Google Earth. So we'll need to download the versions of these images that can be used in Google Earth. How we do this is described in another video, but I'll quickly run through it here. So first of all, we go to the top of the screen, click on the NAAFI logo. That takes us to the home page. We then go to this link here, Landsat Fire Scar Images. Select that, and we'll then see this map of Cape York Peninsula. It has this grid of the Landsat scenes on it. Go to the scene, select the scene that's covering your area, which is this one here. Then we'll see all the different scenes throughout the year. We need to go to one that is after the early dry season scars we're looking at. So in other words, pick a scene in the, say, late dry season, say August down here. So let's pick this August 28th one. That should have a good image of the early dry season scars we're looking at. So go here. This then shows you the different images. As we said, we want a high resolution Google Earth type image, which are KMZ files. So the high resolution images are in these folders here. So select the KMZ folder, and let's select a couple of higher resolution images from this folder. Let's pick a false color one, this enhanced high resolution image, and let's pick a black and white one, this high resolution MIBR image, which is a black and white image. So having selected our images, I've actually already set up Google Earth, so we can go to our Google Earth. So here is the area we were looking at before, but displayed in Google Earth. You'll notice I've already got the NAAFI fire scars selected in Google Earth. You can get the KMZ files for the recent year's NAAFI fire scars by going to the download data area on NAAFI. And you can see here in the background we have the Google Earth satellite image. Now over in this left hand panel here, down the bottom we have the preset layers in Google Earth, but up here we have the areas that you can populate yourself by just opening up KMZ files from wherever you've stored them. In this case, as well as the current fire scars from NAAFI, we've got these two images here we just downloaded earlier. So let's now have a look at that false color high resolution image, which is this one here. So just tick the box like that. It'll take a little while to download or to upload into Google Earth because they are reasonably large images, but it'll be pretty obvious when it downloads, and there it is. Now our NAAFI fire scars have disappeared. We just have to sort of zoom in a bit or zoom out a bit just to refresh the screen. There they are. Now what you can do here is you can remove your NAAFI fire scars by unticking the box, and you'll see here that these pink areas are the scars as mapped by Landsat, and these are more accurate, high resolution images of the scars. Now one thing you'll notice is that this big gap here is actually not so big. You can see these pink areas here show that quite a bit of this gap has actually been burnt, whereas this gap here, if we remove the NAAFI scars again, this is actually a larger gap, so that might be the one you want to pay attention to. Similarly, if you look at this big gap down here, it looks like there's actually a burn along the road here, so maybe this gap is not as big as we thought either. To check, let's go over here and look at our black and white image, which is this one here. So we unselect the color image, select the black and white Landsat image. Again, it'll take a little while to upload to Google Earth, but there it is. And again, this sort of confirms that yes, this gap here is not so big. This is probably the bigger gap, and you can see here this is the burn. It does look like there's been a burn along this roadside. This area is still pretty thin, so you probably want to pay attention to that, but this is not as big a gap overall as it may have first looked. So that shows how you can use these high resolution Landsat images to get a better idea of the gaps in your previously burnt fire scars or fire breaks.